ir a España.
Una cucaracha.
Ganoncho.
Ah, je te déteste.
沖縄はどこですか？
沖縄どこですか？はい、違いますね。はい、次。
Oui. I think that it's important for you to know a language other than your own because it can help you connect with a person on a different level.
Was gefällt dir?
Fußball gefällt mir.
I want them to become world citizens, not just a citizen of their own community.
We all experience the same things. We all have the same basic wants and needs.
Что вы думаете, можно увидеть в
You
Санкт-Петербурге?
get to speak with people that you might not have been able to speak with before, learn a little bit more about their culture. It could change your life, learning more about how somebody else lives their life. So I think it's vital.
My name is Robin Newman. I'm from Concord Middle School in Concord, Massachusetts. I teach 8th grade French, and we call it Novice 1 Part 1. Teaching a foreign language has changed in the last few years because there's more of an emphasis on why you need the language, what you do with the language. When a lot of us were starting out learning a language, it was open your book to and filling in blanks. And though you can do the discrete part and fill in the blanks, it never taught you how to use it in a real situation. So whatever the kids were able to say going around the city today and to communicate with each other has been benefits of a 6th grade program that then builds to a 7th, that builds to an 8th. And working together, we get kids that are able to communicate in a foreign language that they couldn't communicate before. Asseyez-vous. The outcome of the unit is that students will be able to go into any French city and be able to ask and understand directions. Bon, très bien. Merci. Aujourd'hui, je suis dans cette jolie ville. C'est une très, très jolie ville, n'est-ce pas? C'est très joli, n'est-ce pas? Oui, très joli. Olivia, comment est le café?
Il est assez grand,
Oui.
il est bleu avec les tables bleues et jaunes.
Très bien. Combien de tables est-ce qu'il y a?
Il y a 4 tables.
Il y a 1, 2, 3, 4. C'est vrai. A warm-up is necessary. They're coming from their other classes. They've been using English all day long, and now they're going into something completely different. Pourquoi est-ce qu'on va au café? Courtney, pourquoi est-ce qu'on va au café?
Tu vas au café quand il est faim?
Quand on a faim, oui, très bien. Building the city is truly a culminating activity, and you have to start 2.5 months before that, building the little tiny points that will get them to the point that they can actually walk through the city, describe the buildings in the city, know the names of the buildings in the city. The way we get started with making the buildings is we present students with rubrics that they will need to follow in constructing a building, so they know how they're going to be assessed on that. And then each student is assigned going on to the internet and coming up with a building that would be similar to theirs. If you have a library, what would it look like? If you have a hotel, what would it look like? And they learn that a hotel will have stars on it to designate how good a hotel it is. And they learn that a pharmacy has a green cross on it to show that it's a pharmacy. And through that, they'll come in and they'll share ideas.
My name's Natalie Mazer, and I'm in 8th grade. My building is the Office de Tourisme, and I just made a list of ideas, and now I need to go and do some research and to get more information.
We'll suggest some sites for kids, but generally, they'll come in, they'll say, I looked at this, this is a really good site. You can really do well there, and we'll write it on the board, and the kids will go out and try that.
We had to look up through various resources, the library, the internet, lots of different places. And then we had to get pictures and just really look around to see what lots of different pharmacies would look like. And then you had to find out what you would have in them. I mean, a pharmacy in France is pretty different from our CVS. It's more specifically medicines rather than just an all-purpose store.
We had to, first of all, find a picture of a French, the building that you were doing, a French building and the American building, and then you tell in French what the differences were between, so you could make it authentically French and not just an American building.
I went on the internet and I wasn't able to find my building, the Office de Tourisme, but I did find a French museum and an American museum. The French museum was Maison de Victor Hugo, and the American building was the Boston Science Museum. We just went over some of the comparisons to see what I might add into my French building, what would help me, and also just to review like the cultural aspects. What I want to put onto my building is a lot of flowers to attract people inside. And in the inside, I want to have bookcases with information, booklets, all about bus schedules and train schedules, airports. Another thing that I want to do is have a lot of windows.
By the time you get to the point of putting down the city, which really just takes a day, and you start to use the city, it becomes so real and so exciting, and it becomes the focal point in the school. People from all over come in to see the city. So as challenging as it is, it benefits the whole language program in the end.
Comment s'appelle ce bâtiment? Comment s'appelle ce bâtiment? Heather, comment s'appelle ce bâtiment?
L'appartement.
Très bien, oui. Comment est-il? Dis-moi, comment est-il? Caleb?
Il y a beaucoup de fleurs.
Ah, il y a beaucoup de fleurs. Ce sont jolies les fleurs. Très bien. Maintenant, je cherche 2 volontaires pour faire un tout petit tour de la ville. Qui voudrait faire un tout petit tour de la ville? Bon, Nathalie et Nicolas. S'il vous plaît, venez ici et allez à l'office de tourisme et commencez.
Commencer au office de tourisme. C'est l'office de tourisme. Ici, 2 employés travaillent qui donnent des renseignements touristiques. Ici, on achète des renseignements pour des horaires des avions et des trains et des manifestations artisanales. Continuez tout droite et traversez la place. Prenez le 2e rue à gauche. Tournez à gauche. Continuez tout droite. Et arrêtez-vous. Et ici, l'appartement. On habite dans l'appartement. Continuez tout droite. Sur votre gauche est le musée. Ici, on regarde les tableaux.
Bon, très bien. Et merci, c'est à vous maintenant. Trouvez quelqu'un, trouvez un copain ou une copine, allez n'importe où dans la ville. S'il vous plaît, venez dans la ville et trouvez des bâtiments.
In today's class, the warm-up was the walking around the town and describing the different buildings. So I modeled it a bit to help them start to answer some of the questions. I wanted to get really good vocabulary, and I wanted the students to think about what he or she could really say about the buildings. Who works there, who lives there, what you do there, what's sold there, what color it is, how big it is, whatever they can say about it.
Traversez la place. Et
la jardinerie et il y a beaucoup de fleurs. Les fleurs sont blanches, violettes et rouges. Dans la jardinerie, et beaucoup de fleurs et autre chose.
Les fleurs sont roses, violettes et blanches. On visite le château pour les vacances. Le château a 2 portes, oui. Le château est très magnificent.
C'est un kiosque. Il est en bois, il est petit, il est brun et bleu. Ici, on achète un journal. Un magasin coûte 20 francs. Un journal coûte 15 francs.
C'est le café, il s'appelle le Café de Lune. Il est très grand et bleu. Il y a beaucoup de tables et fleurs. Il y a 2 fenêtres et une porte. Ici, le serveur travaille. Et ici, on mange et boit et parle avec tes amis. Il est très mince et joli.
Oui. Le Café de Lune est sur la rue de la République, n'est-ce pas?
Oui, c'est à coin de la rue de la République.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? C'est la bibliothèque.
Oh oui, j'adore la bibliothèque.
Oui, c'est grand et très magnifique.
Qu'est-ce que c'est dans la bibliothèque? Est-ce que le livre n'est pas?
Oh oui, beaucoup de livres.
J'adore lire le livre.
Il y a 4 fenêtres, n'est-ce pas?
Oui.
La discothèque est petite.
Oui.
Yeah, petite. J'adore danser.
Moi aussi.
What I noticed is this particular class is very good about including people and finding partners. If I had a problem with that, I would have cards with their names on it. I'd pull them out 2 by 2. You two work together, you two work together. Because I think it's very necessary for students to work with a variety of partners. You hear a lot of different abilities, you hear a lot of different vocabulary, you hear a lot of different voices.
Le bâtiment est très beau.
I was walking around with a clipboard. They're mini-assessed on the directions around the city. They're assessed on the prepositions, and they're assessed on all the steps in order to get to this point.
Et il y a combien d'arbres?
C'est 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7.
Oui, beaucoup déjà.
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Oh, le livre est Barbarie Céleste.
Ah oui, le parc est très beau.
At that point, we moved on to the directions. I pretended I was completely lost in the city, really lost, and I needed their help.
Et maintenant, je suis ici dans la ville et je suis touriste. Je ne connais pas du tout cette ville. Je suis complètement perdue.
And they think that's really funny. Here's the teacher, she's lost in the city. They know I'm not lost in the city, but that's a good way to get in and have them help direct me. So I had them direct me from one place to the other.
Je suis entre le bureau de tabac et du bureau de tourisme. Je voudrais aller au stade pour regarder un match de foot parce que j'adore regarder les matchs de foot.